We often associate radioactivity with danger signs in science fiction. But did you know that radioactivity is a natural phenomenon present all around us? From the ground we walk on to the food we eat, radioactive materials are surprisingly common. Even our own bodies emit low levels of radiation. This isn't something to be alarmed about. In fact, we've evolved alongside natural radiation for millennia. The key is understanding what radioactivity is, the different forms it takes, and how it affects us. This journey into the world of radiation might surprise you. You'll discover that this often misunderstood phenomenon plays a vital role in our lives, from powering our homes to diagnosing and treating diseases. So, buckle up as we delve into the fascinating world of atoms, radiation, and their everyday presence. To understand radioactivity, we need to zoom in on the building blocks of matter atoms. Imagine these tiny particles as bustling cities. At the city center lies the nucleus, home to protons, which are positively charged, and neutrons, which have no charge. Whizzing around the nucleus are electrons like tiny airplanes on predetermined flight paths. The number of protons defines an element, like the number of cylinders determines your car's engine capacity. Now, some atoms are restless. Their nuclei are unstable, like a city on the verge of an earthquake. To regain stability, they release energy in the form of tiny particles or bursts of energy. This process is what we call radioactivity. These unstable atoms are called radionuclides or radioactive isotopes. They're like the unpredictable members of the periodic table, always looking for a chance to shake things up. Radioactive decay, that energy release we just talked about, comes in different flavors, each with its own personality: alpha, beta, and gamma radiation. Alpha particles are like lumbering buses made up of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. They're big and heavy, easily stopped by a sheet of paper or your skin. Beta particles are like speedy motorcycles, consisting of electrons. They're lighter and can penetrate further, stopped by a layer of aluminum or plastic. Gamma rays are the superheroes, pure energy without any mass. They zip through most materials, requiring thick concrete or lead to stop them. Think of it like this. Alpha is a gentle nudge, beta a firm push, and gamma a powerful punch. Each type interacts differently with matter, posing varying levels of risk and benefit. Imagine a clock that doesn't measure time in seconds or minutes but in half-lives. This clock ticks away not in the familiar rhythm of our daily lives, but in the mysterious and fascinating world of radioactive decay. Each radioactive substance has its own unique half-life, the time it takes for half of its atoms to decay. This concept is fundamental in the field of nuclear physics, and has profound implications in various scientific disciplines. Think of it like a popularity contest. At each half-life interval, half the atoms lose their radioactivity, becoming more stable. This gradual process continues until the substance reaches a stable state, no longer radioactive. Some radionuclides have half-lives of seconds, while others stretch to billions of years. This vast range of half-lives means that radioactive decay can be used to study processes that occur on very different timescales, from the fleeting moments of particle interactions to the slow geological changes of our planet. For example, carbon-14, used in archaeological dating, has a half-life of 5,730 years. This isotope is crucial for dating ancient artifacts and understanding the timeline of human history. This means that after 5,730 years, half of the carbon-14 in a sample will have decayed. This predictable pattern allows scientists to estimate the age of organic materials with remarkable accuracy. After another 5,730 years, half of what remained will have decayed, and so on. This exponential decay continues, providing a reliable clock for measuring the passage of time in the natural world. This predictable decay is what makes radioactivity so useful in various applications, from determining the age of ancient artifacts to treating cancer. In medicine, radioactive isotopes are used in diagnostic imaging and targeted radiation therapy, offering hope and healing to patients. In environmental science, they help track pollution and study climate change. The ticking clock of half-life is a powerful tool that bridges the gap between the microscopic world of atoms and the macroscopic world we live in, revealing the hidden rhythms of the universe. Section 5. Radiation, not just a supervillain power. Despite its fearsome reputation, radiation isn't all doom and gloom. In fact, it plays a crucial role in countless beneficial applications. In medicine, radioactive isotopes are used for diagnosis and treatment. They help us visualize internal organs, target and destroy cancerous cells, and sterilize medical equipment. In energy production, nuclear fission provides a significant portion of the world's electricity. Nuclear power plants harness the energy released from splitting atoms, offering a low-carbon alternative to fossil fuels. And let's not forget about smoke detectors, a common household item that relies on a tiny amount of radioactive americium to keep us safe from fires. From archaeology to agriculture, industry to research, radiation's versatility continues to improve and shape our lives in countless ways. Section 6 Radioactive bananas? The surprising truth about potassium. Yes, you read that right. Bananas, those potassium-rich fruits we enjoy, are slightly radioactive. This is because bananas contain a naturally occurring radioactive isotope called potassium-40. But before you swear off banana smoothies, remember that the dose of radiation from a banana is incredibly small. You'd need to eat thousands of bananas in a single sitting to experience any adverse effects. This banana equivalent dose is often used to illustrate the concept of background radiation, the low levels of radiation we're constantly exposed to from natural sources like soil, cosmic rays, and even our own bodies. So, the next time you enjoy a banana, remember that you're experiencing a tiny bit of natural radioactivity, a testament to the interconnectedness of our world. Section 7. Everyday radiation. Putting risks in perspective. We're constantly bombarded by low levels of radiation from various sources. These sources include natural elements in the earth, cosmic rays from outer space, and even certain foods we eat. Radiation is an inescapable part of our environment, but how much is too much? This is a question that often puzzles many people. Understanding the levels of radiation we are exposed to daily can help alleviate some of these concerns. Scientists use a unit called the millisievert, or MSV, to measure radiation dose and its potential biological effects. This unit helps quantify the amount of radiation absorbed by the human body and its potential impact on our health. The average person receives about 2 to 3 MSV of radiation per year from natural background sources. These sources include radon gas seeping from the ground, cosmic rays from the sun and outer space, and even the natural radioactivity in our own bodies. To put that into perspective, a single chest X-ray delivers about 0.1 MSV. This is a relatively small amount of radiation, especially when compared to the natural background radiation we are exposed to annually. While a coast-to-coast flight exposes you to about 0.03 MSV, this exposure comes from the increased cosmic rays at higher altitudes. Frequent flyers and airline crew members may receive higher doses, but these levels are still considered safe. Eating a banana? That's about 0.1 microsieverts, or 0.0001 MSV. This tiny amount of radiation comes from the natural potassium-40 isotope found in bananas. You'd need to eat 10,000 bananas to equal the radiation dose of a single chest X-ray. This comparison helps illustrate just how small the radiation dose from everyday activities can be. Understanding these comparisons helps us contextualize the risks associated with radiation exposure. By knowing the relative doses from different sources, we can better appreciate the safety measures in place and the low risk posed by everyday radiation. While high doses can be harmful, the low levels we encounter daily are generally considered safe. It's important to remember that our bodies have evolved to handle these small amounts of radiation, and they pose minimal risk to our health. So the next time you hear about radiation, you'll have a better understanding of what it means and how it affects you. Section 8. Separating fact from fiction, debunking radiation myths. Radiation is a topic that often stirs up a lot of fear and confusion. Many people have heard alarming stories or seen dramatic portrayals in movies and TV shows, which can lead to a lot of misconceptions. Today we're going to take a closer look at some of these myths and uncover the truth behind them. Radiation often evokes fear and misconceptions. It's not uncommon to see people getting anxious when they hear the word radiation. This fear is often fueled by sensationalized media reports and a general lack of understanding about what radiation actually is and how it affects us. Let's debunk some common myths. Starting with one of the most pervasive myths out there. Myth: all radiation is dangerous and causes cancer. This is a common belief, but it's not entirely accurate. Fact: while high doses of radiation can be harmful, low levels are a natural part of our environment and pose minimal risk. We are exposed to background radiation every day from natural sources like the sun, soil, and even the food we eat. Our bodies are equipped to repair minor cellular damage from background radiation. In fact, our cells have evolved mechanisms to deal with this kind of damage efficiently. It's only when the exposure is significantly higher than normal that we need to be concerned. Myth: irradiated food is radioactive. This myth can be particularly alarming because it involves something we consume daily. Fact: food irradiation uses ionizing radiation to kill bacteria and extend shelf life. This process is carefully controlled and monitored to ensure safety. The process itself does not make the food radioactive, similar to how passing luggage through an airport scanner doesn't make it radioactive. It's a method to ensure that our food supply is safe and free from harmful pathogens. Myth: living near a nuclear power plant is extremely dangerous. This is another myth that has been perpetuated by media and popular culture. Fact: nuclear power plants operate under strict safety regulations and are designed to contain radiation. The safety measures in place are rigorous and constantly updated to ensure the well-being of the surrounding communities. The dose received by people living near a plant is often lower than that received from natural background radiation. This means that everyday activities like taking a walk in the park or living in a brick house can expose you to more radiation than living near a nuclear power plant. By separating fact from fiction, we can approach the topic of radiation with a balanced and informed perspective. It's important to rely on scientific evidence and expert opinions rather than sensationalized stories. Understanding the facts can help alleviate unnecessary fears and allow us to make informed decisions about our health and safety. Section 9. In conclusion, embracing the power of radiation. Radioactivity, often perceived as a threat, is a fundamental force in our universe. From the potassium in our bones to the cosmic rays showering us from space, we're constantly interacting with this invisible energy. By understanding the different types of radiation, their properties, and their interactions with matter, we can appreciate both the potential risks and the remarkable benefits they offer. From life-saving medical treatments to clean energy production, radiation's applications continue to shape our world for the better. So the next time you hear the word radioactive, remember that it's not just a term from science fiction but a fascinating and essential aspect of our everyday lives.